Tonight, an Arlington man is out of jail after he was seen dancing and doing gymnastics naked in the middle of a road this morning.
Yeah. Well, 33-year-old Jesse Negron is charged with indecent exposure. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker went to his neighborhood, and Fran, a lot of people saw him in action.
Yeah, they saw him in action, all right, Rob. In fact, they told me that he was full of character, a well-liked guy in the neighborhood, and he loved to landscape. However, today he showed his natural landscape to neighbors, and that's something they did not want to see.
He was back flipping. He was standing on his hands and his foot was up in the air. And I mean, you know, that's something that, you know, you really don't want to see.
David lives off of Sandhurst Road and says he couldn't bear to make this up. He says this morning he and other neighbors were met with an unpleasant surprise.
The guy for Cancas came over because he had to fix my camera, and he told me that on his way out, on his way coming here, a guy was out in the middle of the road, stripped naked, no shoes on, nothing on, and he was just back flipping.
Police say this man, 33-year-old Jesse Negron, was walking naked on Wycombe Drive West. He was even rolling around on grass that wasn't even his own.
So we're at Jesse's house, and we've been knocking for a minute. No one has come out, but this is just a few blocks away from where that incident took place. This is an area where there are plenty of children, and to residents, this is no laughing matter.
That is very dangerous. I mean, because, you know, if he could do something like that, you know, we don't know what he had in his mind or what he was on. I mean, you know, according to what I heard, at the same time that was happening, a lady and a baby was walking coming down the street. So, you know, that is very, very dangerous for us around here.
And according to that police report, they said that Jesse was not under the influence, nor was he intoxicated, nor did he have a history of any mental health. He's going to be charged with revealing his sexual organs in public. For now, reporting live, Francesca Amiker, Channel 4, the local station.
Live from the local station, the 10 o'clock news starts now.
This East Arlington man is now charged in connection with his elderly mother-in-law's death.
We're trying to see why paramedics weren't called until 4 days after she had her stroke.
Well, police say David Daly waited 4 days after his mother-in-law had a stroke to get her medical attention.
And by that time, doctors said they couldn't do much to help 87-year-old Eileen Adler. She died. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker is following the story now. And Fran, you actually spoke with David Daly about how this happened?
I certainly did, and he gives us his side of the story. But first, you know, DCF is the one who started this investigation. They then brought in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and those are the folks who arrested Daly on Friday. I did go to his door, and he spoke with me. What is your explanation of what happened?
And without speaking with my lawyer, I'd rather hold that till
But
trial.
she never had a stroke.
That you can ask the hospital. To the best of my knowledge, she never had a stroke.
And to the best of your knowledge, inside of your house, she never stopped eating.
To the best of my knowledge, only until the very, very, very end.
David Daly is denying it all, saying he never neglected his 87-year-old mother-in-law, Eileen Adler. According to this police report, back in February, Adler had a stroke and stopped eating, but Daly did not call for help until 4 days later. By then, DCF told officials Adler was beyond medical help. They say she was soaked in blood and urine with 2 large bruises. She was also severely dehydrated and had a heart rate below 39 beats per minute. She died 4 days later.
How did she die?
She died in the hospital, and you can ask the hospital. I'm sure the police will tell you.
So she never was in any ill care when you were taking care of her?
He denies all allegations, but told me there is something he could have done differently.
Do you feel like there's any negligence on your behalf?
Absolutely none. I mean, there may have been a mistake or an error in judgment about it when we could have or should have sent her into the hospital. I mean, could I have sent her in a couple of days earlier? In retrospect, of course.
And And again, Daly tells me that he plans to save his true explanation for his time in court when he is with his lawyer. Now, DCF wants me to stress the importance of using the abuse hotline. You can see that number. It's on news4jax.com under this article. Also, when I asked Daly if there was any type of trial set or if his wife was arrested, he said no comment. For now, reporting live, Francesca, Amiker, Channel 4, the local station.
People living in one community say they're miserable after a big change caused by Hurricane Matthew.
In the Sanctuary neighborhood, it was badly damaged in Hurricane Matthew. Our Sky 4 drone captured this video as families cleaned out their homes. Well, now people in Lake Sanctuary say the brush and trees that were removed after the storm have left them sleepless at night. Channel 4's Francesca Amiker is live here in the studio. And Fran, they're taking matters into their own hands?
They certainly are, Mary. In fact, they started this petition and they have dozens upon dozens of neighbors who have already signed it. They're not only hoping to get this barrier, but they're also hoping to get the attention of the state.
Sometimes if there's a super loud motorcycle, it'll wake up my son, Asher, and it's like, you know, we got to go back in there and put him down and do the whole thing. So, you know, that can be really frustrating and interrupting.
It's the ideal place for anyone to raise a family. But for Bruce Wire and about 3 dozen other families on his block, there's just one issue.
The sound of heavy traffic going by every single day, and it's just a few yards away from the back of their homes.
There'll be like really loud motorcycles or cars that are getting onto the on-ramp that are pressing the gas pedal, and it gets extremely loud. So it's, you know, could wake up the kids, or, you know, it's just really frustrating at times.
But it wasn't always that way. Neighbors say this time last year there were thick trees and brush that lined the road that helped to reduce the noise from the highway. But due to issues with this drain, including severe flooding in 2 homes during Hurricane Matthew, much of the brush had to be cleared. Now all that's left is a noisy highway with no barrier. So neighbors are petitioning the Florida Department of Transportation for help, hoping the agency can create a noise barrier that will restore their quality of life.
And just in the past 30 minutes, I did hear back from FDOT. The agency has inquired about the noise wall to the agency's planning engineers. They're the folks who typically align the noise walls when construction projects occur. Now, a lot of research, testing, and monitoring goes into that process. The agency has not received anything conclusive back. Miriam Walker.